Thanks so much for joining me for this Get Ready With Me. We're featuring a new palette, a new lip, and a new to me cheek color by Chanel, so let's go ahead and get started. This is a Le Beige look, so we're going to stay really fresh and not a whole lot of makeup. One of my very favorite products for the warmer months. So I've got Medium Plus here, and it's a very easy product to use. It's encapsulated powder, can set itself. You don't need a whole lot here, so we're going to just do a nice sheer layer. My perfect shade match is BD41 in Chanel foundations, so hopefully this gives you a little bit of a reference point. This is also really comfortable on the skin, especially when it's warmer. So if you, like me, do not enjoy the feeling of foundation, this is one of those foundations that's almost not a foundation. A very sheer coverage and doesn't feel like makeup. Now it is slightly buildable, but again, I don't want to exactly cover up the skin either. I'm also going to go in with this, and I noticed it said new on it, but I believe there are new shades. This is the Le Beige Water Fresh Complexion Touch. This has less water in it. Definitely has more pigment to it than the Water Fresh tint. You can also see there's more opacity to this. So I'm going to use this as a bit of a concealer today. I'm going to use this BK Beauty. This is a dual-sided concealer brush, and it's pretty wide, so if you have some dark spots like me, this is a nice one to use so it doesn't take as long. So I'm just gonna conceal in these areas with this product, and the center of my face is typically lighter than the exterior of my face, so I'm gonna go a little bit lighter in the center. Oh, sorry, I have mine, it's a little bit light, but mine's in B30. So I didn't want it to be darker than my makeup since I wanted to use it as a concealer. I'm just gonna run that under my eyes as well. Very similar kind of dry down to it as well. This is the 114 brush. And if it's looking like it's a little bit light looking, I can see that. So I can go in again with the Le Beige Water Fresh tint. And I'm going to just mix that a little bit. And then I'm going to pat that on, right on top of that. Let's take the same brush. And this is what I like about this brush. It'll allow me to just apply a little bit of a thin layer on here without disturbing what's underneath. Just to bring a little bit of that color back. But then I have that opacity of the other complexion touch underneath. So you can see just adding a little bit of color back really does something to make it look more cohesive. Of course, we've got the Le Beige, a Healthy Glow bronzing cream. This was in 392. It's the medium of all three shades, so it's right there in the middle, perfect for my complexion. And I'm just going to use this Merit brush here. This is a number 1 Merit brush. I use this for a lot of different cream products. We're just going to build some dimension here. Okay, if I want to maintain this glow but do a little bit of setting, because I have some combo skin here, I'm going to go for this product right here. This is by Hourglass. It's the Dim Light. Looks like this. It's just, I just need a little bit. So I'm going to use this Buff and Blur brush just in the center. Plus it'll help me blur the dark spots a little bit, but it's very, like a very natural looking finish on the skin. I'll lean in here in a moment so I can show you. So you can see there the texture on the skin, not very much product at all. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do brows. So I'm gonna take taupe and dark brown, and then I'm also going to prep my eye area. I'm going to go in the waterline with Sweed's Bright. I'm also going to use Trench by Victoria Beckham. This one right here, it'll cancel out this redness. So after I do this, I'll see you and we'll put on some of the new makeup. Okay, so I placed my Chanel order, and I always get the canvas bag. I picked up an eyeshadow palette, I feel like I've had this already, but I got it again. I got one of the blush sticks, the Healthy Glow Sheer Color Sticks, And I also picked up a new shade in the Rouge Coco Flash, really like this formulation, in 262 Bliss. And then the palette is in Golden. So, oh, I also brought these up because I think I might have all of them. So let me know if you'd like me to rank these. I think I've got all of them. Got Cool, I've got Medium. I also have Tender right here, and then Intense. I'm wondering, do I not have Warm? I mean, Warm is definitely not something that I would gravitate towards, but if not, I can pick that up and then I can rank them. Just let me know. And if you have not yet subscribed, I really appreciate if you did, because I love Chanel makeup. And if you have been a subscriber or a viewer who keeps returning, you know I love Chanel. So I have so much Chanel makeup, so let me know what you'd like to see. But we've got here Golden, and I was not excited about this palette because I don't love these shades on me, which is a little surprising because I'm warmer, but I don't love warmer tones because I think they can get lost on my skin tone. However, I was a little bit more inspired by these more salmon-y tones here, like the tawny salmon-y tones. So we're going to start there and see how this goes. So this is a complete experiment for me. I'm going to use this BK Beauty 206 brush. It's like a flatter brush, and I'm going to take this shade, this more salmon-y color right here. We're going to go all over the lid. So I want to do something different than what I've seen in the ads, where they very much go with the golden tones. And we're going to stay in this area here. And maybe do something a little bit different. So the cheek that I picked also is maybe not exactly how one would think of pairing this together. So this is really beautiful, this shade here. Like I said, I'm not typically a warm toned eye makeup fan, just because I think the colors can get lost on me a little bit. But that's really pretty right there. We're going to do something very different too with the rest of the makeup, which if you've been here, you know I don't normally do what I'm going to do with makeup today. We're going to take this deeper shade here, and I want to build that a little bit closer, kind of like a smoky eye. But we're going to put this a little bit closer. This is an angled brush by BK Beauty. It's a 205. And we're just going to go like this and sweep it up. I want to make this really soft. Actually, this is closer to, I noticed they had 3 models in the campaign. This is going to be closer to the one model who actually didn't have much gold or much shimmer on her look. So we're going to kind of build off of that. So I'm going to go in the crease a little bit with this fluffier brush. This is a 202. I'm taking this deeper shade again and just build on this exterior part. We'll go a little bit dramatic because I'm going to spend most of the focus on the eye. Okay, and I'm going to take this fluffy brush 201 and I'm going to take this lighter shade again. We're sticking these more matte shades right now. I'm just going to build it like this. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, if you were interested in the brows, I used Dark Brown by Victoria Beckham in the BabyBlade and then Taupe in the front, and I just brushed them together. And then I took this Entrench from Victoria Beckham and I ran it underneath to cancel that redness that I had earlier. And then I went in with this by Sweed and just put that in the waterline to brighten. Let's see, I'm going to take another brush. I want to kind of intensify a little bit. Brush by Rephr. I'm going to take this again. I'm just going to really pat that on the exterior. So far I'm just using those 2 matte colors and they are blending really nicely together. So it's this pretty terracotta kind of tone. And then I'm going to take this teeny tiny, like one of the teeniest brushes I've ever seen. This is by BK Beauty. It's a 208. See how little that is? We're going to go into the deepest shade here and make that into a bit of a liner. Just press it against the lash line. Okay, now let's take this shade here and I'm going to pat that on the lid. It's like a peachy tone. This is a nice like fine kind of sheen to it, which I prefer. I don't love sparkle, and it feels really soft, like more powdery than creamy though. Okay, I'm just going to build this up a little bit, the crease a little bit more with this shade. Because I want more of this shade than the peachy shade. Okay, one other thing, I'm going to take now this sparkly shade, this one right here. Let me see how bright that is. Okay, it's not super bright. It looks like this. I'm just going to put that right in the center of the lid. It's definitely more distinct particles though. I'll put a swatch in at the end so you can see everything in detail. Let me go over that again with this peachy shade because I just really like the smooth glow of that peachy shade. I think it's so pretty. I'm going to add mascara and let's see where we are. I'm going to go in with Chanel's mascara. So right here, the Chanel Volume. Okay, so there is the look with mascara. I think it makes a huge difference. And then I just took a little bit of this Clay to Poke concealer and I cleaned up the edges here. I just like dotted it on, and then I took this same concealer brush and I just kind of swept up like this. Really easy way for me to do that. And then I'm going to take this same brush I used earlier, and then I'm going to take the deepest shade here. I'm just going to run that underneath the lash line. Then I'm going to take another brush. This is a number 3 by Rephr. I'm just going to take this shade right here, and I'm going to run that underneath as well, just to soften that. I'm going to take a little bit more of this deeper shade and go into that crease some more. So let's do this. Because I really don't have much color going into the cheek or the lip. So I just want to intensify this. And this is why I didn't want to add too much other color to the face, because I feel like that's a lot for me. So let's go in with this cheek color. See, this is number 20 and it's a blush, but it's very tawny, which I thought would be nice for this kind of bring it down a little bit, like the vibrancy of the color. I want to bring that down a little bit. Take this BK Beauty 106 brush. I'm just gonna take some like this. It's like the most non-blushy blush that I could think of, where we weren't gonna have color to compete. Because I feel like pink tones aren't gonna go really well with this, and then if it's too corally, then I feel like that's also not going to work. So that is a pretty shade. Now let's try this lip. This is definitely outside of my comfort zone with makeup. It's not tones I normally wear, but I thought we would try it. So we've got here this lip. I thought this was interesting. This one in Sun Bliss, and it's very light for me, but you can see it's got like a golden tone to it. So I thought let's try this by itself. And if we need to do something with a lip liner, let's do that. But let's try it by itself first. So that's really pretty. I'm just gonna get a sweater. Actually, I have a sweater that kind of inspired this whole thing, but I feel like we need a little bit more color to this lip, don't we? So I got some Victoria Beckham, and you can see all of these in an upcoming video, but I'm gonna pick two first, and let's see how it goes. And then we'll go light on the lip with the Chanel. Okay, and actually this sweater is what inspired this eye, although I would just say there's a lot more orange in the eye than I expected, especially this deeper shade here. I thought this deep shade was going to come across as orange as it looks, but it's definitely different than what I normally do. The lip is different than what I normally do. In fact, let me take a little bit of Victoria Beckham's 2.5. I'm going to take a little bit of that. Yeah, 2.5 is more pink than 02. Okay, actually, let me try this. Let me do 2.5 and then the Chanel. Like, this is actually better color, my own lip color here. Okay, and then let's take that Chanel color. Let's go lightly with that. Okay, so this is the final look with just the palette. Now, since this is more like orangey than I would like, I'm going to give you a little preview to something I'm going to be using soon. This is also new from Chanel because I want to like bring this closer to this tone here. This is in Taupe by Chanel, Taupe Fume. So I'm just going to dot this along to kind of take that down just slightly. And then I'm going to add it here and see if this helps. I'll go more into depth with this color when we do the next one, but I just feel like this will do like a look that I would like. Just that little bit there makes this more wearable for me because I feel like it's just those warm tones get really lost on my skin. So I like just a bit more definition. And then I think it also brings in a little bit of the coolness from this. And then just a little bit, I can't help myself, but a little bit of the CdP powder, the translucent powder, just in the front, right here on the pores. And in between the brows. And one more thing, I can't help myself. We're going to take a little bit of the Camoflauge Stylo by CdP right in this darkest part here. Okay, so my final thoughts on this palette. It's kind of as expected. I thought it was going to be a little bit tawnier though, so I keep saying orange. It's not orange, but it has like an orangey tone to it that's popping out for me that I'm not used to wearing, or it's not something I typically wear. So it really helped to add a little bit of that Taupe Fume just along the lash line to cool it down a little bit, just close to the eye itself. But the colors themselves, just independent of if I like them or not, they performed really well. I love this kind of finish where it's easily blendable. There's nothing patchy about them. They went on really smoothly, and then I really liked this color as well. So it really has to be something in your interest if you're going to get this palette. So I do love all of the Beiges palettes, and like I said, I'm going to include a swatch here for you now so you can take a look yourself. So you've got here all the shades, and I used this shade, these two shades, and this shade together. I did not use this one. It is more of a traditional eyeshadow in that it's not super creamy, but really lovely, especially these two. Okay, and then moving on to the cheek, which is not a new color to them, but I really liked the effect that it gave. So it's just a little hint of color, but not actually goes so well with something like this where it's just, it looks like it's brown here, but it's not. It's got a little bit of a slightly like antique rose kind of feel to it within the tawny shade that it is, but it's really pretty. It does have more warmth than coolness to it though, so it's really pretty though. I like it. It's got kind of a satiny finish on it. It's not glossy as I expected, because I do have this one, which is called Sculpting. It just appeared glossier to me. I'll put it down my nose too, than the other. This one is Sculpting, which I really like. And then this lip shade is very unique. I think some of you really love the lip shade because it's unique. I don't see a lot of this shade out there. I think you could use it as a topper like I did, or you could use it alone. I think it's a really unique color. I would like to do this with a different eye though, something a little more bronzy and less golden, but I really did not access the golden shades in here. Like this is really golden, but it's not my thing, but I almost would want to put that with something red. I think that would be interesting. But I did use 1, 2, 3, 4 of the shades, but I really wouldn't call this gold, which is, I think, funny with all of these. I feel like their names don't match the actual palette that they are. So for instance, the one that says Cool is like a lavendery pink palette to me. So do let me know what you think of this. If you have it, did you get it? What do you think of the lip? How are you putting it together? I'm really curious. I think it's very, again, specific to the colors that you like. I love cool tone shadows. I love purples. I love blues, greens, things like that. So this isn't really what I would gravitate towards, but again, the performance was really nice. So let me know how you're using this, what your coloring is. I think that will make a difference as well. Please leave that in the comment section below. Oh, and I do have more new Chanel. Like I said, this is going to be coming up. I picked up something else new from Chanel and some other new products like the Victoria Beckham. I'll go more into depth in the next video with that. Do make sure to tune into that and subscribe if you have not yet already. But that is it for today's video, so please take care of each other, stay well if you enjoyed this video. If you learned something, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you next time.